Thanks everybody for coming to the Creswell City Council meeting, February 9th, 2026. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We got a fairly fuller room than normal, so thanks for coming. I see everybody's got something to say tonight, so I'm going to start off with our Councilor Mark Kramer first, so he can come back to the dais, if everybody's okay with that.
All right, Mark Kramer, 182 Copper Way, Creswell. So new logo, I'm not a big fan of it. Just gonna let you know about that. I do think that there should be some recognition though, with the hometown type thing with the championship. Like if that's something that's hanging underneath, like what the board is, like home of the champions, 2026, I don't think I'm on board about changing the whole logo. The next one is about city updates. I don't like the city manager's own website. I think that all city updates should go through the city website, not through a different one. I think that it should be considered a city update, not a city manager update, because it's the city that's doing all this, and they should be providing the updates about this. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Random order here. Let's see around. Thomas Yee, please come up.
I've written a prepared statement. I'll just read to it. My comments today are of my opinion as a resident of Creswell and should not be misconstrued as technical or legal advice. That's my disclaimer. First of all, I want to thank the mayor, the councilors, and the staff for their service to the city. I also want to thank you for the distribution of the Winter 2026 Creswell Connection newsletter. It included the announcement that FEMA released new dates for their flood map update. I'm here today to bring to your attention that this brief announcement of actionable dates and contact information for questions and help does not adequately describe the full impact on Creswell from changes by the federal agency that is FEMA. From the FEMA preliminary floodplain assessment, approximately 350 structures have been added as intersecting the high-risk flood area. West of I-5, this is 140 structures. East of I-5, this is 210 structures. FEMA's process to update preliminary maps to become effective has a projected date of spring 2027. The special flood hazard area is the area where the National Flood Insurance Program floodplain management regulations must be enforced, and the area where mandatory purchase of flood insurance applies. While Cottage Grove has community status report participation and a 20% discount on flood insurance, Creswell does not. Therefore, no discounts. The City of Creswell's 5-year strategic plan, 2022 through 2027, states under Safety for All, which includes both Objective 2, educate the community about flood risks within the city, and the performance indicator, city staff and officials are trained on FEMA standards. However, I believe there has been limited direct outreach by the City of Creswell. And while the flood risk map amendment page on the City of Creswell website is a great resource, the link is neither published or promoted nor locatable by navigation. The National Flood Insurance Program regulations have dictated much of the text for our City of Creswell's Development Code, Chapter 2.7, Floodplain Overlay. So it needs to be asked, will the City of Creswell have the enforcement capability to maintain program eligibility for the existing commercial and residential properties that will be added to the special floodplain hazard? As next steps, I would like to bring up the potential opportunities that the City of Creswell could undertake to help our community now and before the FEMA preliminary flood maps become effective. Required flood insurance is not just expenses, it will impact total cost of home ownership and location desirability, which would then affect the affordability of living here, sales of existing homes, and future development. Required flood insurance is also applicable to business owners too. Because the city retains permits, land use reviews, and elevation certificates, we should consider how these documents could help property owners. With our participation with FEMA as a national flood insurance program community, we should ask them for help with our role in providing actionable information and resources for distribution. This would help define federal versus state versus county versus city responsibility sooner rather than later, as we do not want to appear as to be complacent. Updates to our community should be distributed and accessible. If you could search the State of Oregon, Lane County, and City of Eugene websites, they have great examples of their efforts. The City of Creswell's website should have a notification about the flood map process on the home page and links to it, including our existing flood risk map amendment and past and present news and notifications. Creswell Connection newsletter, which is quarterly, although it's important for outreach, it's just not timely on a quarterly basis. Examining the FEMA community rating system should be done and distributed on why we can or cannot qualify for a discount like Cottage Grove. I will forward a copy of this to our city recorder electronically, and if the city manager would like to schedule a meeting to meet and discuss, I can make myself available. Thank you for your time.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Sheriff, will you please come up?
Thank you, sir. Cheryl Waltman, 149 South 2nd. I'm here to find out if you've done a follow-up or there'll be any update on the RAP situation the town is having and we are having. We've had to have work done to our homes. Those of us that have the softer ductwork has had to be completely replaced. So that's what I would like to hear. And definitely will follow up with this gentleman on that. But thank you.
Appreciate it, Sheriff. Miss Monica Knight.
Okay, my name is Monica Knight, and I live at 43 North 3rd Street now. I also prepared a statement, and I did this earlier tonight, and I've had some feedback, so I hope it doesn't offend anybody. Okay, I said, I didn't expect to be back so soon to talk about the possibility of the city logo changing. After last month's meeting, I thought the logo matter had been postponed until the council received some input from the residents of Creswell. After seeing the packet for tonight's meeting, it appears that this was not the case. Could you please tell us what the city is doing about the logo at this time? The emails in the packet from the city manager and Councilor Holt on pages 5 and 6 lead me to believe the matter is ongoing, but it seems rather cryptic from those emails. It would be nice to know why the city thinks changing the logo is so important. I do want to thank and applaud Councilor Holt for saying that she thought the matter should be publicly discussed in her email. My question is, has the city proceeded to change the logo without public input and without knowing whether we need to change the logo? I sent an email to each of you today hoping to get some feedback, and I have gotten some so far. So I thank you for those, and I thank you for letting me speak tonight.
Thanks, Monica. Michelle.
Hello, I reside at 98 West Oregon Avenue and also 32397 Links Hollow Road, but I am here on behalf of the Creswell Chamber of Commerce tonight and also the Chronicle, which used to be here on Main Street. We are in preparation of redoing our visitor guide. So we would just like to ask the mayor and the city council if there are any suggestions that you would like to see. If you could please email them over as we are discussing it all, and the planning will be done, the goal is the end of this month. And also the public, in case anybody has any suggestions or something they would like to highlight, we're more than welcome to take those and bring them into our discussions of planning. So that's why I'm here tonight, and thank you again for having me. I will leave some of my cards and these visitor guides if anybody would like to look them over. And my name's Michelle. If you have any questions, I'm right across the way.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you. Yes, you too. Thank you.
Mr. Kent, come on down.
Mayor, council, city manager, what I'd like, William Kent, and I live on Cloverdale. What I'd like to talk to the city about is I know it's not directly within your ability to actually do something, but I think you could have a great influence, and I'm talking about the speed limit over on Cloverdale. If you look at the speed limits coming into town, if you come in on 99, it drops down to 35 quite abruptly and it proceeds to slow down coming into town. Over on Cloverdale, they seem to think that 45 is an acceptable speed limit all the way to the bridge. So the speed never changes to drop anything below 45 miles an hour. And the last time I had a bike accident over there, they put a speed strip out and they found that 30% of the people were exceeding 45 miles per hour. And after my last bike accident, it wrecked my bike, wrecked me, I was in the hospital. And it all results from the fact that people are going 45 plus and your ability, I mean, you know, the kind of jacket I used to wear, my wife has now told me no more bike riding in Creswell. And I hate that because Creswell was, I thought, the kind of town where you could ride a bike to and from the store. But over on Cloverdale, first of all, there is no bike lane. What I was thinking was a bike lane is the fog line, and you've got about that much on the outside of the fog line. You know, my side of the story is I was on the fog line, checked traffic both ways, put my arm out. Next thing I know is I'm crossing the middle of the road. Guy hits me from behind. So I've driven down that road. I've talked to people that tried to walk down that road. And first of all, there's no good visibility coming up to the turn. And the idea people have is that they think they're still in the country and they don't slow down until they hit the freeway on-ramp. And it's dangerous. The people that live over there and try to walk, you can barely, especially if you're a little disabled, you can barely get across the road by the time traffic appears on the horizon because of the speed limit. So I've sent a message to the state and the county, and they were going to look into it. They'll probably do another speed study. The last time they did it, they found that 30% of the traffic was exceeding 45 miles per hour. So enforcing 45 wouldn't do it. I would advocate the city look into dropping it to 30 or 35 at least, all the way out to Dale Cooney. And then, you know, whatever speed limit you want going, and it even drops on Dale Cooney. So anyway, that's my petition to the city, is that I'd like you to take some interest in helping with the study that's going to come out by the state or county on the speed limit on Cloverdale. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. I'm glad you're okay. You look like you're walking a little better.
This week I am.
We'll take it. You're winning today. All right. move on, that's not all from the public here. We move on to mayor's report. We have two chairs open for the budget committee, so with the council's consent, I have and plan to approve Debbie Yee to the budget committee. Council consent's on their head. All right, Mrs. Yee, welcome to the budget committee. Your tour starts today. I'd also like, real quick in my agenda, I don't know if you all read the Chronicle this week. They did a really nice piece on one of our own local heroes, our history, Monica. Colonel Richard Dick Heyman was 101 years old. He fought in 3 different wars, fighter pilot. So those of you who did not read it, it was a pretty amazing article on an amazing man, and he's one of the reasons that we're all able to be here today. So I just wanted to give my gratitude to him and recognize him when we pledge allegiance to the flag today. It was a perfect opportunity to really remember somebody like that fought and eventually died, not in a war, but he eventually died and fought for our freedom. So I want to thank his family, because I was never able to thank him. But I want to bring that to our attention. It was a very good article, and I'm proud of the Chronicle for that and give him a lot of space.
Yep.
Shelley?
I just want to announce that he was put in 18 months ago for the French Foreign Legion of Honor Medal. He will be receiving that posthumously. I can't say that word. On February 23rd at 10 a.m. at the PBY hangar, Soaring by the Sea. It's just north of the Eugene hangar, or Eugene Airport. If you want details, let me know. If you plan on attending, please give me a head count. I am working with caterers for that. But it would be nice to see a good showing. And then his celebration of life will also be at the same place, but sometime in March.
Could you email the council on that? Maybe we
I
can
can.
put something on the website. The man fought in World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam. That's pretty impressive. So thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to move on to correspondence. We have a couple correspondences that are in the packet as of today that some of you might not have seen yet. Is there any questions, comments on the correspondence from the council? Nope. Yes? Councilor Kent?
Just want to say grateful to Councilor Holt for that email. Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, we'll move on from correspondence and go to the consent calendar. All items are considered routine and will be acted by one motion unless pulled for correction. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? Anybody got anything to correct or pull? All right. Just entertaining a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Councilor Steven?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Have a second? Councilor Kent seconds it. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, same sign.
I approve.
Motion passes. Motion passes unanimously.
I was looking at the bills,
Okay,
sorry.
sure, no problem.
Step ahead of you.
Okay, you always are. All right, we'll go to number 5 on the administrative report, and I'll hand that over to our city manager, Vincent Martorello.
Thank you, Mayor. In your packet, you have the finance expenditure report. Do you have any questions for staff in review of the report?
Councilor Kent?
Yeah, I have a bunch of them. Let me, sorry about that. There's a lot of them that are, familiar and everything, and it's just, I wanted to just, reminder for me and maybe for new counselors too. So, Creswell School District, our friends there, $9,000. What was that for?
So that is the construction excise tax. We collect a certain amount for construction tax. We process it for them. So that's that payment to them. What we've collected less our payment for processing that excise tax. If you want a deeper understanding of the excise tax, I have exceeded my depth of knowledge. You have to have Jim come up.
That's good, thank you.
All right.
And let me see, there was a familiar one, but I just wanted a reminder because it slipped my mind. Brandon Instruments, $2,948.
On what page is that?
That is,
Oh, okay, that is the annual inspection of our effluent meters. So each year, we need to get those inspected, make sure they're working properly, and that's the charge for that.
Okay, this is all like familiar stuff, I just, I'm getting older and losing my short-term memory.
That's right, so far, we're 2 for 2 in our guessing of what council might ask us.
Okay, I'm hoping that this gives you a hat trick here. Business Oregon, $154,992 and change.
Well, it's hat trick achieved, Councilor Ken. That's the debt service for the water plant.
Great.
That's us paying for the debt service on the water plant. So what was the original name, Jim? Because they changed their name to Business Oregon.
It used to be Infrastructure Finance Authority. It's a Oregon department, and Business Oregon just sounds a little friendlier.
Kind of hides it, don't it? Just saying.
That's all I got, thank you.
Anyone else? Councilor Castillo?
I do have just one. It's the HACH Hack Company. What do they do? I have never heard of them. It's not a very big amount, but I'm just curious as what do they do for Creswell?
Hack Company. That is part for our pH tester at the water plant.
Oh, okay, thank you, sir.
Councilor Holt?
TMG Services, it's on the last page, I believe. I'm just curious what that is.
Yes. And it's in my notes because that was a question that we had. Give me a minute because I'm 4 for 4, so I really want this one. TMG Services is to replace the chlorine monitoring system, basically the alarm out at the plant.
Okay.
It's a lot of money on water.
Yeah, I mean, all three that we just asked about, yeah.
That's a lot of money on water. Thanks, DEQ.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Oh, also included, Jim provided a budget to actual to date for you, an additional piece of a report just to provide a little bit more information on how we're doing with our budget.
Yeah.
Is that the page 23?
So yellow means we're going over.
Green is good.
Is there a legend?
Yellow is bad, green is good.
Yellow is trending a little bit more than the 50% at January.
On materials and services?
Yeah, I can respond to that. So in the building department, for example, materials and services, those are outside of payroll items. Those are supplies and materials and service contracts that we have with third parties. And the third party contract for building services with Cottage Grove, we actually have 3 quarters worth of payments in there. We paid in July, October, and January, this being January. So that one will turn green in the coming months. That's just kind of a warning. One of the reasons I wanted this in the packet was just so that the council could see what is kind of coming up with maybe possible amendments in the future, rather than just finding out at the council meeting. The airport fund also has a yellow materials and services. Again, this is for supplies and contracted services. And the trigger here is the fuel. So we had a recent fuel purchase. We may have an adjustment here just by virtue of selling more fuel than expected. I don't know if you've seen, we've had some Forest Service helicopters out there, and that's definitely going to help the bottom line, but it may trigger a budget amendment in the future. We'll keep an eye on it.
I like this report. Thank you. Thanks. This is very detailed and easy to understand. All right. Should we move on to the sheriff's report?
Yep, next up is sheriff's report. I don't dare speak for him. Alex, please come up.
Dave.
Good evening. If you take a look at our calls for service, you'll see that we're staying with our normal trend. Nothing's really standing out. The only thing that really stood out this last month is we were able to get out there. You'll see the offense against state category. Usually we don't have that many case numbers. Those were all self-initiated warrant arrests of wanted people. And so that's kind of cool that we're able to get out there and kind of hold people accountable for some of the things that they're maybe not following up on. But other than that, it was a steady month. I have a new deputy down here in Creswell who started last month. He's settling in, he likes it, and he's doing a really good job for me, so I can't complain about that. But I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Counselors? Nothing? No speeding ticket? Nothing? Let me down here.
Okay, all right, I want to,
All right, please, thank you.
all I'll say is great job, Sergeant Miller.
Thank you.
Great job in writing those speeding citations. There.
Yeah, I didn't write any this last month, so thank you to my deputies that are out there doing work, so.
Is there a chance to patrol a little bit more around Dairy Queen area, what Bill's talking about, just kind of see if there's...
Yeah, so.
Is it just hard to slow down coming off the bridge? I mean...
So I'll put that information out to my crew, and, you know, we're always looking for kind of the hot spots.
Sounds like that's a hot spot.
And that's a good spot, so I'll put that out to my crew and see if we can get some.
It's a tough road to walk, so I don't blame them. You don't want to walk there. You don't want kids.
No.
When I see kids walking there, it's even worse.
Yeah, and,
Monica, I see you. Wait for the work session.
It was mentioned that the speed limit is 45 through there. And so what you end up having is you have cars that are going, 50, 55, which isn't, I guess, egregious, but for that road, it's unsafe.
It is.
So.
And like you said, the fog line, you got 6 or 8 inches, there ain't much to walk, let alone ride a bike, so. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah. Sure, as long as we're on the subject.
Go ahead, Counselor.
From the overpass, that is ODOT.
Yep.
And they have the call, the say on that speed, clearly. But is there a part from Cloverdale at all that the city could adjust, or?
I don't know the answer to
Or is that all county as well?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I think it's all, that's all county roadway. So for example, Mr. Kent mentioned his bike crash. And that crash occurred on Cloverdale Road, but it was not considered within city limits, if that makes sense. So it's Creswell, as far as I'm concerned.
We have to try and get county.
Through the county.
Okay.
Is my understanding.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Alex, could we put one of those portable speed indicators out on Cloverdale that will show people what their speed is as just kind of an awareness thing as well?
Potentially, we'd have to find a pole to set it up on and.
Oh, you don't have portable?
No, we would have to set new poles.
Okay.
So the portable signs, the radar signs?
Yeah, that indicate what your speed is in real time.
Yeah, so the radar signs that we use in Creswell, that you have to mount them to a pole.
Okay.
Potentially, we could see about reserving some time with the county speed trailer. You and I could talk about that, try to figure that out.
Okay.
Shelley?
Your Lane Act representative could speak to this Wednesday night at the meeting.
I was just taking notes to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? You're free to go.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So then moving on to the city attorney report, you have the update from our city attorney. We accrued 11 hours this past month, and it's broken out in the report. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll see if I can answer them.
Nope. Think we're good, sir.
Okay, moving to the code enforcement report. We received some feedback, so we're in the process of updating the report and shaping it a little bit. We've included photos of the 3 most egregious, if you will. It's not a full photo log. If council would still like more photos, we're open to that. We're really trying to streamline the report with photos of the egregious issues, and then the report for community engagement contacts that our code enforcement's having without necessarily issuing any citation or violation, and then open cases and then new cases, just to give you a running, if you will, spreadsheet of progress being made on responding and closing cases, as well as the number of contacts we're having. One of the important things when we interviewed for this job was to see it as a community service officer as well, and provide education, provide information. So that's why we are starting to track that data point.
Appreciate this. This is something I asked for, just in all transparency. I like some of the pictures. I like people's privacy as well, but it helps to understand the situation with our code enforcement if we can see some pictures of what's going on, and making sure the code enforcement officers are getting it done and not just taking everyone's word for it, so. Councilor Kramer?
Can you elaborate a little bit on this, dangerous behaviors?
Where are you pointing to?
It is on the new cases for January.
I
mean, it's
don't,
closed, but
yeah,
I just want to elaborate.
I don't have an elaboration for you, unfortunately. I would need to speak with Pierre about that and get back to you.
I might have an answer.
Or better yet, I might ask Alex to come up.
Dangerous behaviors is like vicious dog bite, that type of thing.
That was easy. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, no, it was kind of
difficult. Any other? Councilor Castillo?
Case number 431, that says prohibited signs. Are we talking about the little teeny tiny sign that's down at the bottom of the big exit 216 sign?
Again, that I don't know. I apologize. I think prohibited signs would be signs that are in violation of our actual our sign code.
Okay.
It's the huge sign.
Okay.
Is that the billboard? Okay.
What is the violation?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be there.
I believe it's too tall.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's been in violation.
I'm going to bring up Curtis because he was working with Pierre on this. But this is in regard to a billboard.
That wasn't put up 6 months ago.
It's been there forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, when I was a kid.
Yeah, we passed our sign code in 2014 or 2015, and when the sign code was passed, it says that there's a height limit and a size limit for all of our signs in Creswell. And the sign code says if you're not brought into compliance 10 years of the adoption of this code, you are now in violation of the sign code and therefore subject to enforcement.
It's terrible.
What's the,
Nothing's been there
What would be for the, a billboard?
yeah.
What's the regulations for the billboard?
35 feet tall and 200 square feet in size.
Councilor Castillo?
So has this company been notified
Yes.
that they are in violation?
Yes.
Is the clock ticking on them to do something about this?
I'm not sure exactly what Pierre has communicated
Okay.
with the landowner.
Okay.
That was similar to my question of, what are they gonna do? I mean, you can't just
Yeah.
take a couple feet off the top and reweld it.
Yeah.
Let's put a plug in the poles and then hope for the best. I guess it's not our problem, it's theirs, but.
I don't know.
I mean, I think it's absolutely awful that we've done this to them. So, is it our problem or not?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah. Well, thank you, Curtis. That's an odd one. Well,
We'll be looking forward to some follow-up on this one.
Yeah,
I can even-
it seems like we created ordinance after the fact. That's not really fair.
That's not fair to
It
them.
should be grandfathered in.
Well, the 10-year time, so they had 10 years to bring it into compliance, and that 10-year time limit has been exceeded. And probably the reason for the 10-year time limit is because of what you are now talking about potentially the expense or the inconvenience. So it seems like the city, when they passed the ordinance, was thoughtful of that, or that city council that passed that was thoughtful of that. What we are doing as part of bringing on a new code enforcement is going through the code more specifically to make sure that there is code compliance out there. Otherwise, what's the point of having a code? And if we can identify a violation, it at least brings people in to talk to us. And then maybe there is some other outcome than having to tear down the sign. But we are going through the sign code, our parking, our building facade, our derelict building, our property maintenance. all the things that we've heard we want improvement on, how our city looks, on the condition of the buildings, compliance. So that's the approach that we're taking, is to go through the code and identify violations. That's
Absolutely, no, I agree.
Continue
10
that.
years, in 10
Yeah,
years.
that's enough
I
time.
think it's time to have a conversation. We have 10 years to do something.
10 years is a long time to continue that. I think they would, if they were notified in that 10 years, maybe they could have argued to be grandfathered in at the time, but they didn't, so.
Thank you.
Thanks.
City Manager.
Yeah, keep up the good work on that.
the next item is the building permit recap report.
Questions or comments?
Okay, and then not hearing any, the last item is the city manager's update. I have listed down Second Street scheduling for a neighborhood meeting. So that meeting has been scheduled. It's February 24th at 6 o'clock here. The purpose of the meeting is to really re-engage with the neighbors along Second Street, introduce the plans again, have conversation, let them just become familiar with the project again. Part of the feedback that I heard last year when I started was a lot of the neighbors didn't know what was going on. They didn't have information about the project. So we're looking at a staff level of how to re-engage right off the bat before construction starts. I don't know if we'll have a construction schedule specifically at that meeting on the 24th. We do have a pretty good idea of when it'll start. So it's really just a way to re-engage the neighbors, let them look at the plans, ask us any questions they may have. So there's really, we minimize the surprises that happen out during construction.
You said February 24th,
Yes.
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock. We've sent out letters. I believe we've set up door hangers or will set up door hangers. The meeting is being held here so we can live stream it and we can record it. We'll then post it on our website for any of the neighbors along Second Street that can't make it in. They still have a resource to go. So we heard the neighbors, what their comments were last year, and we're trying to respond to that with a little bit more outreach and a little bit more engagement.
Well, I think that's pretty thorough, so I hope they appreciate that. I think, Councilor Holt?
What is the format of the meeting? I mean, like, is it just like a question and answer session?
So the engineer and Cliff, Public Works, will lead the meeting and lay the plans out, go over what the different phases are again, what to look for. Again, we'll try to get as much scheduling information of when we expect it to start.
So this will just be staff and residents?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
Council's welcome as long as we don't get a quorum.
Yeah, we probably want to avoid.
No, this was more staff looking to see how we can improve our processes from last year and listening to the neighbors about the level of engagement they believe they did not have. So we're looking to address that.
Okay.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, anybody else comments on that? All right. Thank you, Vincent. We'll move on to the council action items. We'll bring up our city planner, Curtis Thomas.
Good evening, council. So in front of you tonight, you have a comprehensive map and zoning map change. And the application was brought forth by Sheila and Douglas Atwood. They came to staff with the inquiry to build a manufactured home on their property. In reviewing the inquiry, it was determined that they have a general commercially zoned property. And so if they wanted to build a residential use, they would need to have a mixed use building. So typically ground floor commercial, upstairs residential. And so in reviewing their options, they elected to move forward with the zone change, a zone change to low-density residential. And so in reviewing whether or not a zone change is consistent with Creswell's goals and policies, we will compare it to our comprehensive plan documents that we've adopted. And so kind of the two changes here, we're going from commercial to residential. And so in our residential policies, our housing needs analysis, we've identified a deficit of residential land. And then in our economic development policies, our economic opportunities analysis, we've identified a surplus of commercial land. And so therefore, by going from commercial to residential, this zone change is consistent with the needs of the city. And so if we kind of apply those high-level policies to the context of the neighborhood, that's where a zone change can be a little bit more discretionary. And in review of this zone change, the uses, the zones surrounding the property are residential, and the uses surrounding the property are also residential. And so staff recommended and Planning Commission also recommended 7-0 to approve this zone change. Any questions?
Council? Just so everybody knows out there on the wide world web there, we did discuss it at the work session, so it was out there. Okay. Thank you, Curtis. I will ask Caitlin to read it title by twice unless the council wants it read in full. After the public hearing, of course. Anybody who wants to speak to this zone change, please do so now. Let's wait for your minute. Noah? You speak.
What? Huh?
I do the same thing sometimes.
I guess I just have
I did that all the time.
quick question.
Yeah.
Under financial consideration, while it's not necessarily costing us something, there is a statement in there that says, while a zone change to residential in the urban renewal district is not best practice, it is not prohibited. I just thought that that was a little interesting of a statement, instead of maybe being a little bit more bold or purposeful or standing behind it by the city going, hey, we're ready to do this. When you say, while it's not best practice, it's not prohibited, it kind of makes it sound like, well, why not?
It does.
And I'm not against it. I don't have a dog in the fight, but.
I agree with you. Curtis, want to speak to that?
Sure. The urban renewal district is not part of the review criteria for the zone change, but I think it's a little naive to just ignore that it exists. So that was kind of why I included that in the packet of, this is a real thing that's part of the district that the city council is a part of and passed. Does this zone change totally discredit all the effort in the urban renewal district? Absolutely not. If this was a zone change of 5-6 acres, I think there's a little bit more implications, but for a zone change of 0.24 acres that's surrounded by residential uses, yes, it's a part of the urban renewal district, that is a fact, but is it a detriment to the city's goals and policies? No.
Well, that's a direct statement that I can accept. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Curtis.
Anyone else before the time runs out? All right, we'll close the public hearing. All right, Caitlin, will you read the title twice, please? Unless the council wants it read in full? No? Okay, title twice, please.
I think we have to have a motion though first, right? Or do we read the
Read
title first?
Title twice.
Yeah, the motion, and then we'll read it again.
Yeah, you have to have the motion.
Yeah, I have to have a motion first.
Second, and then.
She can read it once.
Yeah, she can read it once.
Then-
I said
Well,
twice.
this will be the second one when we,
So read it once, the title once, please.
Ordinance number 576, an ordinance amending the City of Creswell's comprehensive land use plan diagram and Creswell's developmental code zoning map for certain land within the city assessors map 19-03-14-112, tax lot 300 from commercial C plan designation with general commercial GC zoning to a residential R designation with low density residential RL zoning.
Okay. Entertaining motions. Council Morris?
I move that the City Council adopt Ordinance 576, an ordinance amending the City of Creswell Comprehensive Land Use Plan Diagram and Creswell Development Code zoning map for certain land within the city, Assessors Map 19-03-14-12, Tax Lot 300, from Commercial C, Plan Designation with General Commercial GC zoning to a Residential R designation with Low Density Residential RL zoning, and authorize the mayor to sign the findings of fact final order for PAZC-2025-02.
Thanks for taking on that long one.
Amen.
Appreciate it. Do I have a second? Councilor Kent seconds it. Any further discussion Okay, I think I need Caitlin to read it one more time. By title, please.
Ordinance number 576, an ordinance amending the City of Creswell's comprehensive land use plan diagram and Creswell's developmental code zoning map for certain land within the city's assessors map 19-03-14-12, tax lot 300, from commercial C plan designation with general commercial GC zoning to a residential R designation with low density residential RL zoning.
Thank you. All right. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. All right, please look at the city website for up and coming events and agendas.
Can I?
Yes. Please go ahead.
I just noticed on the agenda, upcoming meetings does not list the Water Rate Advisory Committee, which actually is meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Thank you for that. Is that on the website? Have you noticed?
I have no idea.
Okay. Hopefully it's on the website, as it should be.
And noticed.
And for those of you about the logo.
Oh, I know it was noticed.
The logo changes, we will be presenting at the work session. That will give you an actual presentation of what the plan is. So then we'll bring it to the council, we'll bring it to you. Then if need be, we'll go forward with getting more information from the public, but we're not gonna do anything until we hear from you and the public, until it's properly presented. That will be at the work session. So if anybody's listening and wants to talk or discuss or just listen, please come to the work session for that. Thank you. Still working.